My name is Ylva Kovac, and I'm the Director of Admissions here at AES. Thanks for joining us today from wherever you may be around the world. During this event, you will meet our school director, Dr. Andy Torres, our Director of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Shirley Dracy, and one of our high school counselors, Ellen Gravison, and 3 AES alumni. We'll talk about how we at AES continue to improve and create educational experience that prepares kids for future challenges. At the end of the presentation, we'll have a question and answer session. Please write down your question one at a time. At the bottom of the screen, you will see the Q&A box there. So that it's easy for us to answer all of your questions that you might have. And now, without further ado, we have Dr. Andy Torres, and we will also try to get the PowerPoint slides up.
Thanks, Ylva. Well, that's coming up. My name's Andy Torres. I still count myself as new here at AES. I just arrived here last August. I've been working overseas for 21 years out of my home country, the United States. I'm from the state of Oregon and worked in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, did 13 years and 2 different stints in mainland China. 9 years at Shanghai American School, and the last couple of years I've been working at Avenues, the World School in Shenzhen, China. And I am honored and privileged to be the director here at American Embassy School. This school is a pretty special place, a place that I think embodies what is really the best about international and American schools. I've been so utterly impressed with the professionals that work in this organization. This teaching staff is veteran, knowledgeable, caring, and I really think that it comes down to our focus on our mission statement. The sign that's right here behind me in my head here in the office, which states that American Embassy School provides a balanced education defined by, and I love these words, the joyful pursuit of excellence. And I hope tonight, this afternoon, this evening, whatever it is for you, you can see the spirit that is AES. We are here to focus on the idea that making schools more human is really should be our job. I was interviewing a teacher a couple weeks ago for a position here for next year, and they asked me if their job was to prepare students for the next year or the next phase in their education. And I said, well, certainly, yes. I can't disagree with the fact that every step builds on itself in education, but ultimately here at AES, our motto of entering to learn and leaving to serve really is about making students prepared for being better human beings, for better people, for better contributors, to become at the bottom of our mission statement, that idea of a lifelong learner and a compassionate global citizen. So some schools have been looking at this quite a bit. One of the things is we focus in on this. We think about our priorities and our needs moving through an interesting era, pandemic education, and also looking at schools and the way we need to change for students who are in our classrooms, entering a world that's much different than the ones in which we grew up. And so we're focusing on helping our students through developing internal strength in our organization, always focusing on safety, and ultimately embracing that idea of community, flexibility, and again, our mission statement. We talk about how great schools have shared principles, and a lot of these focus on helping our students and our organizations to be adaptable, have great internal capacity, that we're always learning, that we're all practicing and focusing on well-being, that we focus on data and gathering data so to prove and talk about our evidence of success, and having students show their learning to us and their evidence of success. And ultimately, our programs, as we develop them further, are always going to talk about that idea of customization and personalization as a approach to everything we do in our schools. So let's think about this, about what our kids need to be in the future, how they can be better human beings. focused on that idea of what that AES vision drives for, and that our future needs based on feedback from the world. And this is talking about our missions that we serve here in Delhi, business leaders from around the world, multinational corporations, entrepreneurs, and inventors all tell us that these things in these bullet points, flexibility, curiosity, openness to new ideas, being an entrepreneur and thinking through that idea of empathy and the experience of others, resilience, optimism, and the ability and the interest in taking action. If we can instill that in our kids, they will truly be successful. And I think you're going to hear about that tonight. I'm very excited about the people you're going to meet. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Shirley Dorsey, who is our Director for Teaching and Learning, and talk a little bit more about our programs here at AES. Shirley?
Thanks, Andy. So I've been at the school, this is my 4th year, and I'm a veteran of the international school world. I raised a daughter in international schools, and she is now a happy married professional, young adult. And I can assure you that life in the international schools is always interesting and enriching for the parents and the children in that. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight was the curriculum journey for children at AES. And that's exactly what curriculum is. It's really about the pathway or the journeys that children take through our schools. And one of the pieces that's coming out in all the research from the last year plus during the pandemic is the importance of well-being and social emotional health. And so we've come early in this year to embrace that whole concept of social emotional foundations, because children need to feel safe and that they belong in their classroom and in their school and in their grade level in order to be good learners. And so children at AES, we quickly see that at the beginning of every school year or when kids enter the school new, children settle in pretty quickly to the culture and the welcoming environment they feel. Content skills and dispositions are a big part of what we talk about in education. And so one of the pieces that we draw content and direction from are the sets of standards that come out of professional organizations in the United States. And they lay out a K-12 journey, if you will, for content and skills in all the different disciplines. So for instance, in literacy and reading, children will each year and even within a year, they will be challenged to and pushed to take on more complex text to read, to learn more precision and detail about how they write and then therefore how they think. And they learn how to develop their expression in how they speak and how they write, and their acuity in listening to one another and to other sources of information. We also have a rich array of assessments that complement our learning environment at the school. Classroom assessments, grade level assessments, and then some external assessments to help us as a staff track children's growth especially in reading, language, and mathematics. So just know that whether you're at the lower grades, the elementary grades, the middle school grades, the high school grades, and then of course in the IB program, there are assessments that help us tune ourselves, our programs, to what's going on in the world. And layered in all of this is that continuous improvement quality about our programs. So again, we take direction from all of our outside agencies about what does the research say. And so some of the agencies that we have worked with, besides the professional organizations in reading, math, science, social studies, PE, the arts and music, some of those agencies also deal with skills that children need to develop, both thinking skills, ways to make their thinking visible to others, to the teacher and to each other. A lot of those things are also embedded in our programs and our classes. Instructional practices are deeply rooted in the research from leading universities and professional agencies we have worked with. Our literacy program has a strong foundation in Teachers College out of New York, Columbia, New York, in reading and writing workshop, which is a way of presenting and tracking, if you will, children's progress in their reading and their writing skills. We also have worked with Harvard's School of Graduate Education in taking a look at the climate and the culture of our classrooms, so that once again, we are really committed to being a learning organization, both as adults and with the children. Personalized experiences come out of the mission that Andy talked about. And we talk about that pursuit of the arts, athletics, service learning, and I would add technology and innovation, so that children are given exposure and experience with trying different things in all of those entities, either through the curricular program, the units that they study in their classes, or in after school activities that they can become involved in, both at elementary, middle, and high. And so overall, AES has always been committed to providing a well-rounded education of the whole child, thinking about them as learners and as young people. And we support them in engaging effectively in choices that they make and the choices they will make beyond K-12 graduation, and then into their adulthood in the communities where they live and serve. Speaking from my perspective as a parent who went through schools like this internationally, but also speaking as an educator from within the AES school organization, children who are here and who have, whether they're here just for a year or two or for a lot of years in their early education, leave here with that joyful pursuit kind of part of their DNA, and that spirit of wanting to contribute to the communities around them. So with that, I turn it over to another colleague of mine, Alan Graveson, to talk about high school counseling and things that they do out of the counseling office in the high school.
Thank you, Shirley. My name's Alan Graveson. I'm one of 4 high school counselors. I'd like to talk to you a little bit this afternoon about the counseling team and about some of the things, some of our backgrounds and some of the things that we'd like to share with you and your families. A little bit about some of the additional supports that we have for students in terms of English language support and also learning support. And then just a little bit to draw on a few of the things that Shirley said about just finding just how we help students to discover passion and purpose and kind of tailor their experience so that when they're finished at AES, they have choices to go on to their post-secondary, healthy, happy, well-informed, and with opportunities in front of them. So first of all, as I said, I'm one of 4 high school counselors. There are 3 of us are comprehensive counselors. And then when we have 1 counselor dedicated to social emotional well-being. So all of us work together as a team to give academic support to your students, help them to plan their academic journey at AES, and also to give them the social and emotional support that they need, because it can be sometimes difficult. While we have a very strong learning support community, sometimes students do have personal challenges with different aspects of their lives that we as the adults help them through. The team itself, we come from various backgrounds, from schools from all over the world, multiple geographic locations, and we all have experience helping students find placements anywhere in the world that they choose for post-secondary. So some of the additional ways that that our counseling team works with the other support members in our community. Some students will come in grade 9 or 10 particularly and may need a year or 2 of additional language support while they develop their skills, particularly for the IB diploma. So we work closely with that team also. And also with learning support if some students need some additional help with things like time management, study skills, or just organizing their kind of learning patterns and behaviors. We work closely with them also in developing the academic program as well as the learning support program with those other learning specialists. And one of the great things, and the reason you're probably interested in a school like AES is this kind of advantage you have when you come to a school like this, where you have a very good adult to student ratios. And in counseling, that's certainly true. We get to know your children well. We get to understand what their needs are, their goals, their aspirations, their strengths, their interests, and we can help to guide them over their journey at AES to find those kinds of things that make them passionate about learning. And not just, I think Shirley pointed this out too, that we're obviously not just looking at their academic journey and them as students, but also them as people, and what are the kinds of things that make them passionate about learning, about serving. Maybe they're an athlete, maybe they're a performing artist. We work together to kind of help them discover those pathways and have a full learning experience with us. We work on a kind of a fit model for students. That is an individualized approach to every student. When we're looking at their academic program with us and their post-secondary program beyond us, we're looking for the kind of schools and experiences at, particularly I'm talking now about post-secondary, that will fit their career goals, their learning styles, their social needs or wants, and all those sorts of things. One of the other things that I think we do particularly well is share information with families and with students about all of the, again, talking about universities now, about strategies, just trying to find the right fit program for them. We bring universities to the school. We connect students with alumni and with other students in their chosen universities, information sessions, individual sessions, group sessions, parent sessions, so that they're well informed to make their decisions. When they finish grade 12 and they're looking beyond, they have choices. They're leaving well informed, happy, well educated, and having options about what they want to do post AES. So that's kind of our commitment to you. And that's kind of our counseling team and our counseling program, and be happy to answer any questions at the end of the presentation.
Thank you so much, Ellen. That was really helpful. I also would like to briefly introduce our IB coordinator, Teresa Yelming.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Teresa Jelming, and I've been at AES for 6 years. Prior to that, I was at Cairo American College in Egypt for 11 years, and I'm the IB and AP coordinator in the high school at AES. And just wanted to let you know I'm also here on the panel tonight, so can help answer any questions you may have about the advanced programs in the high school at our school. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Teresa. And now we will meet our 3 alumni.
Hi, my name is Josiah Friesen, and I'm an alumni from the class of 2018 at AES. I'm currently attending the University of Toronto. I'm in my 3rd year with a major in computer science and English. AES really offers a wide range of activities, sports, extracurriculars, a lot of different things that a student can get involved in. Graduating from high school, going into university, I knew how to get involved with different clubs, and I was writing for a publication, and I was joining a sports team because that's what AES had allowed me to get comfortable with before going into the new environment of university. So it really sets you up to do anything you want to do. Like the motto is enter to learn, leave to serve. And they really do set you up to serve. I learned to be selfless. I learned to help others and to contribute to the community with other members of the community. And I just think that that self-reciprocating, self-supporting structure that surrounds AES and the communities around it it's a wonderful thing to be able to be involved with as a student. And then as the alumni of AES spread throughout the world, they touch their communities and they touch their local areas as well. Because of my time with MAD and volunteering for education purposes, I volunteered to be a tutor for a high school student. And it was an incredibly enriching experience for me, being able to sit down one-on-one and have those conversations and help the student through their coursework. And I had learned how to do that and how to approach that, and not just how to do it, but also the reasons to do it, why I was doing it. And I learned all of that from my volunteer work at AES.
My name is Hannah Baghdadi. and I graduated from AES in 2017. After that, I moved to Syracuse, New York, and I got my Bachelor's of Science in Environmental Biology. Now I am doing some postgraduate research work at Cornell University. When I think back on my time at AES, that have helped me to get to where I am today. First and foremost, deciding to go into environmental science. I think I was inspired by taking IBESS at AES. I really fell in love with it, and I ended up winning the subject award for that. My IBESS teacher, Ms. Machuzak, was really influential in what degree I decided to pursue. Also, I really enjoyed learning from Mr. Kleinhens. He taught AP US history, and he also was kind of in charge of the MISAC Academic Games team, which I was a part of, and I got to travel to Abu Dhabi to compete for MISAC with him and my teammates when I was at AES, so that was really a fond memory for me. I was also really involved in theater at AES, so taking theater class with Mr. Pablos was awesome. We got to go to London on a trip, and we saw a lot of great productions there. I also was a part of some productions that we held at AES. I used some video clips from those productions in my applications to colleges. Through service clubs, I was in Teach India, where we taught English, and also Spread a Smile, where we just played with the local children. I think that really exposed me to, well, first of all, a whole nother culture, but also a passion for service that I still like to bring with me. I've been really involved with the international student body at my college, and I led some English conversation groups where I helped them practice their English skills. And I think part of the reason why I gravitated toward those students was my time at AES. From all the amazing experiences I had at AES, I think one of my favorites was probably Mini Course. It was a trip that we take every year. You can go somewhere in India, and you can choose like some sort of level of rigor. Being able to raft down the Ganges River was an amazing experience. It really made me feel closer to India and also to my peers. I made a lot of friends and strengthened a lot of existing friendships on those trips. And I know that they will stay friends with me forever.
Hello everyone, my name is Marius. I'm French and Norwegian, and I studied at AES from 2018 to 2020. I obviously really enjoyed my time at AES. I learned a skill set that is absolutely critical to what I'm doing at university right now. Speaking of university, I study at the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom, and I'm studying economics and politics. I was enrolled in the International Baccalaureate, like most students at AES, and that's something I can only speak highly of. The main skill that I got from AES was just brilliant time management and a great exposure to research and what university really is like. And I feel as though I'm actually fairly prepared for university compared to some of my peers who were not enrolled in the IBs. I went to school at AES only for 2 years, so just enough time to complete my International Baccalaureate. Nevertheless, I never felt as though I was lagging behind in any way, because the teachers was just so helpful. The level of professionalism is outstanding, but at the same time, I felt as though my teachers were my friends, and it's hard to strike that balance between having a good relationship with your teacher and at the same time keeping a very high standard, and AES managed to deliver exactly that. I really enjoyed leading two small clubs at AES, the Economics Club and the Ecology Club. We were gathering once a week in both those clubs, discussing what was going around in the world and maybe how we could make a little impact at AES. That was lots of fun. So that's one thing. And then another highlight, something I absolutely enjoyed, was my trip to Dharamshala in first year. We were camping roughly every day in this fantastic region. in northern India, and that was a massive highlight. We created bonds that I'm keeping for life for sure.
Thank you so much. Before we move on to the Q&A, we will also bring you on a tour throughout campus. So we have some students guiding you through. So hang in there with us. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to American Embassy School. We're so happy that you're joining us.
Today we're going to show you our beautiful campus.
Let's go. When arriving on campus, this will most likely be your first stop. This is where the admissions offices, director, and assistant director offices are located.
Welcome to the elementary school. The elementary school is made out of 4 different buildings. They're all named after trees: Ashoka, Neem, Banyan, and People.
We're so lucky to have an Indian artist called Nek Chand make us these statues around our campus. Now let's go take a closer look. Wow, I love elementary school. It's so fun.
Yeah, especially the library and the makerspace.
Yeah. Welcome to grade 5. This is my classroom.
Welcome to the middle school. I'm Elizabeth and I'm in 8th grade. I'm staying in the rock garden, which is a part of the middle school. It's a great place to hang out during lunch and after school. This is the Hall of Peace. It's a multi-purpose room in the middle school. It's used for our weekly assemblies and hanging out during lunch and after school. This is the 6th grade hallway where they have all their classes. This is the bottom floor to the middle school. In the middle is 7th grade and on the top is 8th grade. This is one of the 6th grade classrooms. Something I love about our middle school classrooms is that it's flexible and comfortable. This is the Jalsa. It's a place for informal gatherings and a place to hang out before school, during lunch, and after school.
Hi, I'm Ellen and I'm an 11th grader at AES, and today I'm going to show you the high school. When first entering gate 2, to your left you have the middle school field and the 3 clay tennis courts. And to your right you have the anniversary garden and the red basketball courts. This is the Tiger's Den. It's one of the places that high school students love to come and eat lunch and hang out after school. Up ahead, we have our Stein Library, which is one of AES's original buildings. Let's go inside. When inside, you can see there are many books for both pleasure and for school. And the Stein Library is open both during school, after school, and on the weekends. arriving at the high school, we have the high school office right behind me and the art classrooms right above. Just below that high school office, we have the theater and the art gallery, which is shared between all three divisions. Just inside the high school, we have the science department on our bottom floor, the English department on the first floor, social studies and world language on the second floor, and the math department on the third floor. The high school offers a wide variety of courses from AP, IB, and general high school courses. We're very fortunate to have a makerspace in the high school which offers electives like robotics and design, as well as the ability to come and be creative throughout the day. This is the High School Breezeway, another place for high school students to come and eat lunch, as well as a place to hang out and study throughout the day. Just behind the high school, we have our Tiger Turf, which hosts many MESAC football games, different sports, and PE classes. Welcome to AES.
Hi there again. I also would like to introduce Janice Roper. I did see that we have some younger students with us here today, and she is our elementary after-school activities coordinator. So Janice, would you like to briefly mention a few things about the after-school activities?
Sure. Welcome, everyone. As Ilva said, my name is Janice, and I coordinate elementary activities. We have a wide variety of activities from right now from kindergarten through grade 5, and sometimes of the year we also include pre-K kids in activities. We have our makerspace, which is a tech and creative space. We have some activities in there like coding and building paper crafts, 3D printing. And we also have music activities, we have sports activities, and everything in between all of those. We have 4 quarters in a year, and students can do activities up to 5 days a week. And some students do, and we just have a huge range of options for students. And so we're excited to have some of you join us maybe next year and learn more about that.
Thank you, Janice. And now over to Dr. Torres. We have a question about the COVID situation and currently if we are online or on campus.
Yeah, thank you, Ilva. We have unfortunately had to move to fully online classes for a couple of weeks. We're in the middle of our first week here, and we'll be moving through one more week of online classes before returning to what some people might describe as a hybrid model, which is part of our students are on campus and learning in a face-to-face environment, and the other half is learning from home and online. And depending on the grade level and the the division, depends on the schedule, but typically in middle school and elementary school, pre-K through grade 8, students are on campus about half the time, and the other half time they're learning online. Our high school students for the last several months have been attending almost nearly full time, and after we come back from the break, our high school, our students who are not taking exams, that would be grades 9, 10, and 11, will be on campus full time. So moving forward into the fall, I just wrote my faculty this afternoon, and we are very hopeful that we're going to be able to come back to campus using hopefully the screening tools that we have available to us and COVID testing, assuming that all of our faculty and staff and any eligible students have been fully vaccinated. And we will continue to implement our amazing cleaning protocols. We have amazing air in our school, some of the best air quality filters in the city, I hear. That also has been a benefit for us in COVID times, because that air circulation and filtering has really helped us to keep our community healthy. And just until this past week, we've been very fortunate to be able to not have any interruptions to our online programs, and we intend to return back to that here on the 26th of April.
Thank you so much, Dr. Torres. Do we have any other questions? I see that we actually have quite a number of nationalities represented in this small group. In fact, we have over 60 different nationalities represented at AES. So, and I see some Canadians, Ellen Gravison and Janice Ropers, they are Canadians. Any more questions before we end this virtual open house?
I've been tracking our student college admissions this year just with great interest, because I have an 11th grade daughter, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm very motivated to see where our children are going off to universities from AES. And I've been so excited to see not only a lot of our kids choosing American universities, being admitted to American universities, but we have a very broad admissions record here at AES, and where students are landing admissions in Canada, and the UK, the Netherlands, Japan, Korea, to name a few. Australia, I will add. And in past years, we've seen students been gaining admissions into universities in the Middle East and the UAE. And so it's very exciting to watch this. And it's, graduates are our product. They come out of the assembly line for us, essentially, and we get super excited about their futures. And we love seeing the videos of our successful alumni as they tell their stories to you, and it's very authentic. Our kids are, they all are like this. They speak so well and are so engaged.
In terms of admissions, we are currently reviewing applications. It's an ongoing process. So as soon as your application is complete, we'll review it. It sometimes takes time because we want to make sure that your child is well known and well cared for from day one.
Yeah, our EAL program extends from grades 1 through 10, essentially. And we have EAL specialists who work with the classroom teachers, sometimes within the class, sometimes in separate support classes with students, especially beginners. And just know that we know that the research supports the fact that children acquire a new language best when they're surrounded by it. And so the fact that students are in a lot of regular classes with their peers, they're at recesses normally and things like that, or they're in activities after school, that oftentimes children are moving through the stages of language development at a good speed. And just know that both classroom teachers and specialists and the EAL teachers work with children individually and in small groups to do that language acquisition.
All of our students at AES in the high school are working to earn an American high school diploma. And then within that, they may choose to do the IB diploma, some IB courses. We have a few AP or advanced placement options, or there are general high school courses. So IB and AP have external assessments. You might consider them more advanced courses, but all of our classes really help prepare students for what they might like to do after high school.
Thank you, Teresa.
And with that, I look forward to meeting you all in person. We're really looking forward to having our families back on campus here in a couple of weeks. And we do look forward to having new families come in August. It's a very exciting time of the school year, and we're just waiting with great anticipation. So thank you so much for coming tonight, and thank you, Elva, and everybody else for joining us and lending us your expertise.
Thank you, and feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you.
I feel like we are truly loved here by everybody, and we all care about each other. So the students are incredibly diverse. They come from a wide range of backgrounds, and they're very comfortable sharing about where they come from and learning from each other. My colleagues are incredibly supportive and fun to be around. I love coming to work every single day. And the administrators are open to ideas, and as teachers, we're a part of the conversation. Every single person that is a part of the AES community is in an environment where they can be who they want to be, share with each other, and they feel incredibly supported and loved.
If you've ever been to Delhi before, you know that the people are innately kind and generous and love sharing the beauty and the color of India with you. And we do a really great job of making sure that we bring that into everything that we do, from lessons to festivals to regular daily interaction.
As soon as you walk onto our campus, you're greeted by our beautiful gardens, our facilities. The amount of green space and trees are just absolutely beautiful. It's a place where we can all come together to learn, whether you're a teacher, a parent, or a student.
What I like most about AES is our student body. They are the life of what we do and of our campus.
I used to teach here at AES 15 years ago. I left 13 years ago. I went to many different schools. I love teaching in other places, but the feeling of belonging and community that we have over here is something that I never found to the same extent as we have at AES. So I came back, and I love belonging, being part of this gigantic family.